Big functions.
It's question time!
So to factorize a cubic function, we have to compare the function given to the general cubic function. That is, now if we are to compare this function to this function, then a is equal to 2, b is equal to -1, c is equal to 2, and then d is equal to -1. Now let's find whether a over b will be equal to c over d. So a over b, we have 2 on -1. Then c over d, we have 2 on -1. So we realize that they are equal. Since they are equal, then we can introduce brackets and then factor the common terms out. Now x squared is the common term. Let's factor that out. We are left with 2x minus 1. Then for here, we just factor 1 out, so we have 2x minus 1. Since we have the same brackets, let's choose one of them, 2x minus 1. And then this one being x squared. Now it's positive, so plus 1. For example 3, let's first of all compare this function with the general cubic function. By comparing, a is equal to 1, b is equal to 3, c is equal to -6, d is equal to -8. Now let's find a on b and then c on d. Now a over b is 1 on 3, c over d is -6 on -8. If we are to break this down, we are getting 3 on 4. So a over b is not equal to c over d. Now, when a over b is not equal to c over d, we cannot introduce the bracket and then factor the common terms out. So find a factor of the function given. Now, when we say a factor, what it means is that we are going to find a number that if we have to place that number in place of x, it will make the entire function to be equal to 0. So that is what we are looking for. Now, we can do that by guessing. Put 0 in, find out if it will be equal to 0. You put 1, 2, it can even be negatives, and that is going to give us a whole lot of trouble. So let's use calculator to find the factors. So first of all, let's go to mode. Then we are dealing with equations, so let's move to number 5, which is equation. Now cubic function, you realize that the fourth one deals with the cube, so we select 4. We've been given the spaces. The spaces there is asking us for the coefficients of the terms. You see that they've written a here, b, and then c here. We want the value for a, the value for b, the value for c, and then d. So what is the value for a? Now the value for a is 1. So we come and put that one here, 1. Then we press equal to, we move to b. Now the value for b is 3. So 3, then equal to value for c, that is -6. So -6, then equal to, then value for d, which is -8. So -8, then equal to, you press equal to again. Then we have the factors. We have x1 to be -4. Another, if you press on the equal to again, you get a second factor. x2 to be 2. Another equal to again, you get a third factor. Now x3 is now -1. This means that if we are to put -4 in the equation, it is going to give us 0. If we are to put 2 into the equation, we are getting 0. Then if we are to put -1 into the equation, that one is also giving us 0. You now have placed -4 in the entire thing, so that is giving us 0. Now, I've also placed -1 in to verify if it will truly give us 0. Now, equal to, and that is also 0. Now, I've placed 2 in the entire thing. Let's check to see if that one will also give us 0. And yes, it is 0. So these 3 factors. So minus equal to 0. If we are to send -1 here, back here, it will be positive. So x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now, if x plus 1 is a factor of this function, then that means that if we are to divide this whole function by this factor, it will give us the other factors that we are looking for. Remind ourselves of the long division method. How do we solve this? 20 on 5. Now this can be written as 20 inside, whereas the denominator will come outside. 5 goes into 2. It's not possible now. 5 goes into 20 how many times? 4 times 4. Then you multiply 5 by 4, you get 20. Then you subtract, then you are left with 0, 0. So this is the same thing we are going to do under this topic. We are going to divide the cubic function by the factor. For getting our factor, we divide the factor by the function given. So this is the function divided by the factor x plus 1. Now in long division, we know that the denominator comes outside, so we have x plus 1 outside, whereas the numerator goes inside. You must pay attention to this because it's a bit confusing. What we do is that we are using this term x to divide the first term here, x cubed. So x cubed divided by x will give us what? Now we have x cubed divided by x. This is the same as x multiplying itself 3 times. Let's write it in this form. X times x times x divided by x. Now if this x is to cancel one of the x's, we are left with x times x, which is x squared. So that means x goes into x cubed, x squared. Now after getting x squared, what we do is that we use this x squared to multiply the entire thing here. You don't just multiply one and leave one, we multiply everything here. So x squared times x will give you x cubed plus x squared times 1, x squared. Now in order for us not to get confused, let's just write 0x. Let's introduce zeros here. Then we subtract. Now x cubed minus x cubed is 0. 3x squared minus x squared, which is 2x squared. Then minus 6x plus minus 0 is minus 6x and minus 8. Now let's proceed. X goes into 2x squared how many times? We have 2 times x divided by x now. Now if x is to cancel one of the x's, we are left with 2 times x. So that means x goes into 2x squared, 2x. Now 2x times x is 2x squared, 2x times 1, which is 2x. Let's subtract. Let's just introduce 0 here. So we have 0 minus 6x minus 2x, and that is minus 8x. Then minus 8 minus 0, which is minus 8. So now x goes into minus 8x how many times? Now we have minus 8 and then x divided by x. Now if x is to cancel the x, we are left with 8. So x goes into minus 8x minus 8. Now minus 8 times x is minus 8x. Now minus 8 times 1, which is minus 8. Let's subtract. Minus 8x minus 8, that is positive. So minus 8x plus 8x will give us 0. Now we have minus 8 minus minus 8, which is minus 8 plus 8. And that one is also giving us 0. Now note that the factor that we are using to divide is termed as the divisor. Now the function that we are dividing is the dividend. What is left after we are dividing is the remainder. In this case, we have a remainder of 0, 0, so there is no remainder. And then what is on top here, the entire thing here is what is termed as the quotient.